Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Starport. This is Jason here at New Dimensions, Crystals, and Reiki in downtown Brenham, Texas. And today's report is for June the 18th, 2025 through June the 24th, 2025. And it's a busy week in the cosmos. Just a lot of shifting stuff that you'll probably feel. Most likely you'll be feeling the sun because the sun has not um, waned in its action and its activity, and the Earth's magnetic protection is not getting any stronger until the poles end up in their final shift and realign. Which, yeah, that'll be a minute, but pay attention to that. So the sun is active. There is a current coronal hole stream that is impacting us. You should be feeling coronal hole streams is that dark spot on the sun, which is giving us a stream of plasma, and that plasma makes it sort of feel like a compression. And so sometimes you feel a little bit sluggish when we are in coronal holes. And so that coronal hole stream is on the southern half of the disk. So it's not a direct hit, but there is one center disk that is moving towards. So just as soon as this one ends, there'll be a new one center disk. So don't look for any letting up on that sort of sense of sluggishness. So there's going to be a lot of it's not conflict necessarily, like you want to think of fighting energy, but there's going to be lots of opposite energies happening, right? So the rest of the cosmos, besides our closest star, the sun, will be making you sort of feel like you're hitting your stride, you know what you're doing, but the sun is going to continue to sort of do that through lots of plasma. Plasma is the sometimes called in ancient times the ether, is called the most abundant thing in the universe, right? So if you're thinking that we are not plasma, that we are stuff in things, then we are maybe 5% of the universe, things that are things. Everything else is an orientation of energy in plasma. And so other life forms are probably 90% of things that are things, or whatever's are in the universe. About 90% of that is going to be plasma oriented or plasma, whatever. They also have a double helix. So, specifically, the two plasma clouds that are outside Earth. Yeah. So fun times. So just sort of look at that contrast, right? You're going to feel like you could uh, go hard, have some inspiration. But like here in South Texas, it's humid and it's hot. So you're like, I'm going to go out and do stuff. And then the heat hits you. Just sort of think of that as the sort of energy or the things that you have to fight. People that have to go out and do it every day are used to it. And therefore, it is a lot easier for them to keep going or get started. Like everything, habits, meditation, breath work, regular energy sessions, all those regular things will keep you oriented towards continual growth and movement so that you aren't so easily swayed by the cosmos stopping you. There was over the evening last night an X1 solar flare in the sun. That's a little bit of diversion while talking about the sun. And so that CME, there is no significant CME Earth facing because of that. But solar flare activity really does sort of cause a trigger, right? So you want to think of it as the coronal hole stream in the plasma is going to make you feel like you're swimming up against the stream. And then when we get those little solar flares, it's almost like little things let loose or fall off or fall away or activate on the inside of you, right? If you're an energy flowing system, you want to think that solar flare stuff sort of triggers things to let go or activate as that current moves through you. So just sort of look to that sort of sometimes it's an epiphany, sometimes it's just a letting go, sometimes it's an aha moment, sometimes it's a trigger of stuff that is irritating, and you sort of like, oh, I can't believe I was carrying that shit still in my body. So pay attention to that. Currently today, but not for much longer, we are in Gemini, which is affecting our lungs and our nerves alchemically, right? We go down the body and then it starts to spread out into the organs, and different zodiacs have a correspondence to physical forms in the body. So you want to think that the zodiac, as we move through it, activates certain parts of the body, or the orientation of those plasmas are how these things are connected. Also pay attention to that. We're currently in retrograde of Pluto, which is always, not always, well, majority of the time about old wounds in deep hidden powers, right? So this could be psychic abilities. This could be early childhood stuff if you're going to stay Jungian. I think Jungian, yeah. Um, this life kind of stuff. It could sort of trigger stuff of past lives if you believe in the continuance of plasma and energy through the lifetime, so that it just reorients into different physical forms. Uh, Pluto retrograde will be messing with that. And then, of course, we're still dealing with the energy of Jupiter into Cancer, which we talked about last week. That's just that sort of intensification of everything is shifting, and everything that's not working is being broken down. And if you are paying attention to popular culture, especially here in the West, or even, I guess it's kind of global, the clash of the West and not West, whatever that might be, is the energy of Jupiter into Cancer, right? And this is last energy. This was around 2014, 2015, 2013, 2014, whatever it was, 12-year cycle. So just sort of pay attention. That energy continues and will be sort of all year long, right? So if you're looking for quick resolutions to global and cultural problems, you're in for the long haul. And you're in for the rearranging or removal of such structural things over the next year, right? And so it's kind of like road construction, right? They're breaking down the old road, narrowing it to one load, making it harder to get through, or disorienting that your normal drive to work is something you have to focus on rather than manage your way through by habit. So pay attention into that energy. It moves us into today. Wednesday 18 25. That is June 18th, 2025. Mars is really sort of helping us motivate into taking some action, right? A lot of times when we don't know how it's all going to shake out, it's hard to continue on the regular daily habits and stuff like that. But most of the time, or not most of the time, mostly this energy today, Wednesday, is going to be about things that are long overdue, right? So you're looking for the right time, you're waiting for things to settle down. This is really sort of the motivation to like act anyway. And you can sort of take this in the empowering sense, is that quit waiting for everything else outside of yourself to realign or to align to the perfect for time for you to act, and rather choose that since you have that urge to act, that now is the perfect time. Blah 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 blah. Maybe there is a soul pathway that you can do with this action, right? That's more soul oriented and more spiritually long sighted. And of course, as we are in Pluto retrograde, you can call on your powers to come to the surface to sort of inform and help out with this action against the tide of all of the cosmos that sort of seems to be dousing us with change. Yeah, that sounds like a good way to say that. Moves us into tomorrow, Thursday, June the 19th, 2025. Pretty good day. As the moon starts to darken and solstice approaches, the planets are really starting to aid us in creating. And so the energy of Thursday is this kind of like Ghostbusters, the original movie, where Gozar the Gozerian says, "Choose your destroyer," and they try to blank their minds. And then all of a sudden they think about the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. This is really careful with what you choose because the universe is helping you, right? So a lot of times we know what we want, but we focus on how not to have the bad things happen while we start to do that. When we shift that focus, the universe sometimes gives us those extra things to give us what we don't want or to resist us what we're trying to get, because that's what we're focusing on. So focus on the end result rather than what can keep you from the end result. Just a cautionary tale for tomorrow, Thursday. Leads into Friday, June the 20th. June, I was going to say 23rd, but that's not right. My eyes are actually working this morning. No glasses to see my tiny writing. Hitting the metal though, making some rattles. So that leads us to Friday. I said the 20th, which is going to be the solstice, and there's going to be a couple of energies that are sort of affecting the solstice. The sun is sextiling the moon, which is really sort of going to give us this energy of passivity. Like if we just sort of allow, then things will happen. And this is kind of like if we're in a game and somebody's having a good game, we're not begging for the ball to be passed to us. So you want to think that's the energy of the passivity that's happening on Friday. The moon is in Taurus. And so Friday could really be a good day for solidifying or identifying money issues. Like this is abundant stuff, not necessarily debtor stuff, right? So it's not about losing money or risking money. This is really about the ability to sort of become more solid and stable in your financial situation with the moon into Taurus. And then, of course, it is the solstice. And so that means that the sun is also moving into Cancer that day. And so alchemically, we're going to shift in our body from the lungs down into the stomach or over into the stomach, depending on where you experience the layers of your organs in your body. And so it's going to be the breast area, the stomach, and also the spleen, which is going to be on your, let's see, I think left side, right underneath the rib cage. And so the spleen, sort of something to pay attention to on Friday, is the spleen is really where we sort of carry outside negative energy, right? So if you've been paying a lot of attention and being really turned up by stories, happenings, and whatever in the world, or you're around people that are super triggered about that, then you might be experiencing a purge of that energy on Friday into the weekend. So just sort of notice that that might be energy that is not necessarily yours or something that is bad, but something that you're purging. Anytime anybody's gone through a detox, they kind of know that you sort of get that sort of ill feeling because all that toxicity is leaving the body, but it's also not stored safely in the cells. And so your organs and your hormones are all imbalanced and you sort of get that little nauseous feeling. So pay attention to that on Friday. Moves us into Saturday, the 21st, 2025. The moon trines Mars, and it's really going to be an uptick or an inspiration in your willpower. It's going to be about courage, right? So it's not just like I have the energy to do it, like the willpower, like, oh yeah, I'm going to do my habits. It's also the courage, like, even if you're sort of afraid, like the reason you might have been putting it off is because of outcome or risk, you're going to find the courage to keep doing that. And you're really going to be drawing to yourself the resources to actually make that happen, right? So maybe this is if you've been looking for employment, or you've been looking to whatever. Maybe you're trying to sell a house, sell a car, buy a car, all this kind of stuff. This is really where the resources start to align, right? And it's not like it's going to be a lottery win per se, but it's going to be the ability to your credit score and your income align up to get the right loan, to get the car, to do the expansion of the business or to move, or all those kinds of fun things. Also, the moon is going to sextile Jupiter on Saturday, and that energy is really business opportunity. So this is how can you expand your business? How can you start your business? How can you be a shining star in a business that you work at? So look for Saturday to be good energy like that. And this might be if you're not working on Saturdays, you're off on the weekends. This might be the epiphany of, hey, I can do my job a little bit better, or maybe I can have a meeting about how things haven't working and I figured out how to make them work better. And then, you can take that with a grain of salt, because a lot of times when we have these ideas about how to change, we might be in a system that doesn't like change, and you just know how to do your job better, but aren't allowed to. So just sort of look for that conflict there, but also it's an opportunity, right? So look for the opportunities to do it better. And it might not be something that is system wide change, but definitely a change in your attitude towards how you expand and work. Moves us into Sunday, the 22nd of June, 2025. The moon, which should be in Taurus on Sunday, is going to be conjuncting Venus, which should be in Taurus. It's going to be a real super motherly energy, and that sort of motherly instincts. How do you care for others? Sometimes you can call this feminine instincts. And then also connections, right? So motherly instincts and connections. And a lot of the energy is going to be about the home. So this could be the idea of nesting. This can be the idea of not just spring cleaning, but summer cleaning. This could be your opportunities to move on and do these other things, is allowing you the energy and the vision to sort of see the things in your personal space that are holding you back or weighing you down. And so you can sort of do some spring cleaning, do rearranging, maybe add some colors, maybe buy some crystals, and sort of shift the energy of your space. And it's also good energy to sort of market yourself, or your business if you don't have a self to market. But you know what I mean? This is the idea to sort of put it out there that, here's a set of skills, here's what I'm trying to accomplish. You get that a lot on citywide sort of group messaging boards, where there people are like, hey, I'm so and so, I'm new to town, and I'm got this kind of skill and I need this kind of job. who's hiring. It could be as simple as that, or it could be, something more directed. Leads us into Monday, 6/23/25. The moon going to be sextiling Saturn. It's a good day to emphasize your organizational skills, right? So if you've just been sort of hitting things as they come, like, oh, I got this task, I got that task, and you do it when it's sort of there and it just sort of feels like you're always going and doing, right? This is a really kind of a time to sort of grab a hold of that and go like, hey, what if I put all my bills on auto pay and just sort of check the bank account and know the dates that they hit, and I'm not writing checks or logging on or remembering passwords. All that kind of stuff is about organization, or it could be even organization of setting out your outfit so that you can and you throw it on and go to the gym and set a regular habit and push play on your coffee maker, all the kinds of stuff like that. This is about organizational stuff. It's also good energy on Monday if you have the time or your relatives are close to sort of have interactions with relatives, and the discovery of sort of true feelings, right? Of true connection to family, not necessarily on how they've been functioning, but at their core, that sort of DNA sort of camaraderie, that ride or die kind of stuff. Like, hey, we might be disagreeing about how the world's shifting and what we should do about it, or even belief systems. If you're watching this, maybe you're conflicting with belief systems of church or metaphysics or politics. This is the kind of data where those sort of true feelings sort of arise of these people are worthy of my connection, not just because of my DNA, because at their core, they're good people. And we've all just had different sort of things of how we're orienting and engaging in how the world's shifting. So yeah, that sounds like a fun Monday. Leads us to Tuesday, the last day of the report, June the 24th, 2025. Sun's going to conjunct Jupiter, and that's really about lucky actions. And so this is sort of kismet, alignment, synchronicity. Some people call it luck. Some people get really mad when you talk about luck because they get into word orientation and blah blah blah, and they're like, "Oh, luck is bad," or "Luck is of the dark side and controlling." I don't know. Positive luck alliance and actions are available to take on Tuesday. In this sort of alignment, the synchronicity is really how you sort of see adult. You always get that little phrase, "Oh, adulting is so hard." Oh, yay, adulting, when you have to do the things that you don't, that are just sort of habits. This is really sort of the surpassing that, or the letting go of that, and sort of understanding how your life can be pleasant and not an act of mindless or hard labor, right? That it is these things are leading to a pleasantness, or there's a pleasantness in the actual doing of them. So look for that energy on Tuesday. And of course, if you're struggling with any of this, which some of y'all do, because y'all come by the shop and ask me, feel free to come by the shop and ask me. Be nice if you bought a crystal while you were here, but if I'm here and I'm open, I'm definitely available to spitball some information and some things that don't get contained in the report. newdimensionscrystals.com if you are looking to have some help in your bodily alignment with either energy work, breath work, or tarot card reading. Tarot cards usually walk in. You can't book those online. They only take 15 minutes. And in the summertime, for sure, it's definitely usually not that busy. So you can sneak in before, after, or just straight away if somebody's in shopping while you come to get a tarot reading. Yeah, I think that's everything until next week when I find the button. Until next week, everybody, many blessings.